I got sprung. Hi everyone, welcome back to class number 2, in-home vellum class. Well, now we're going to learn how to do some white work. So what is white work? White work is when you usually use white ink and then you stretch the vellum white. But we're going to use black ink and we're going to stretch the vellum white. Then I'm going to share with you how to apply chalk with glycerin to smooth on the back. This is a beautiful technique, and I'm going to give everyone a couple of minutes to hopefully jump back in. It's a great class and you're really going to learn a lot. So I hope you're all enjoying it. And I'd like you to put in the comments, if you're watching the replay, hello to all my replay people, what it was that you really loved about the class. And is this something you'd love to learn? Vellum work is very different and it is a little bit more time consuming than our stamping, our normal stamping cards. It's something that can be very elegant, as you can sort of see in this card that I made. It's very beautifully layered, and it's just the die cuts, the flower die cuts, and you've got to find the right die cuts, flowers, to actually be able to layer with the leaves. And also I did a little bit of white work on here as well with the pen, and a little bit of colour on here as well. So really, really gorgeous way of doing it. So if you missed our last class, we actually made this one. So this was just a little basic one, learning how to apply the ink, how to actually use the blends on the back, and how to apply the glue. So if you've never done vellum work before, that would be card number 1. You would want to go back and watch that. Very simple, elegant little card that you can use for anything. Okay. If you've been doing vellum work or parchment work for a long time, then you can even come and use our hybrid, which is an embossing pad that also does die cutting. And you can add, I've added some little butterflies on here and emboss them out. Added some white work on here as well, added some little pearls, some linen thread. So this one's got a little bit more on it, so you can put more. And this one's just colouring in from an embossing folder. So if you come on, say hello. I'd like to know who's out there. We're going to get started very shortly with our next video. So I'm hoping that everyone that was on before, I haven't said, don't come back. No, come back. And hi Margaret, hi, I'm back. Which embossing folder is that one? Which one, Mum? This one? Are you talking about, hi Deborah, are you talking about the ship, or are you talking about the hybrid one, this one? This one's the, I'll write them in the comments afterwards. I'll write up what ones I've shown you, okay? And then that way you can have them there. Okay, so we're going to be using the Mixed Florals stamp set, the flower one. That's the hibiscus. It's a hybrid one, so really lovely. It's one that does embossing and cuts at the same time, okay? So we're going to do the daisy. So let's come down to our workbench. If you come on, say hello, say where you're from. Tell me if you've worked with vellum before, or if this is the first time you've actually seen how to use vellum. I'm hoping within the 3 cards that we make today that you'll get some great tips, gold nuggets along the way. This is usually my in-home class. This is what I teach the ladies at home, but due to the crisis with petrol and people not being able to get here. We decided to opt online this time, and we're doing it on my Teresa Brown stamping because I haven't got an in-home group set up for in-home classes online because I don't do it online normally. Hi, Susan. Hello to everyone. Thank you for coming on. Okay, so the girls that have got their kits, you'll have, I hope that's pretty good there. The light gets funny in here. And I'm going to use my Stampin' Positioner that's going to come available in the next catalogue. Another sneak peek. Oh my God, sneak peek day. So the girls that have got their kits, just be mindful when you're pulling your packets out. My circle fell out just a minute ago that I was looking for, and I had to punch another one out. It came out. It was in, oh, here it is. It jumped. Remember I said it came out and it went somewhere? Well, I found it when I turned the video off, but that's okay. That always happens. Now, I'm going to put my stamp in first because I like to put the stamp in first where I want it. So I'm going to grab my stamp, and I'm also going to also do some little beetles, ladybugs in a minute on there too. So I better not forget them. So we're going to pop this on, line it up to where you want to line it up, or how you want to line it up. Okay, the good thing about the Stampin' Positioner, once you've got this down like this, nothing's going to go onto your work until such time as that you press down. So I can sort of see that it's sort of 6 and 14. So I sort of know that I can come into probably 5 and just past 14. So let me have a look at that. That's pretty good. If I wanted it down a little bit further, I could come down a little bit, but I'm quite happy with where that is, I think. I can move the paper up just a little bit. Vellum, you have to be, okay. My fingers don't want to pick up today. That's all right. So between the 5, so I'll come up just a fraction to the next line. Now let me just see how that looks. Turn it around. So these little bits here just hook onto these little press down spots there, but until I press down, that's pretty close to the bottom, so that's not too bad. No, come down just a fraction. Okay, that's pretty good. Once you're happy with where you've got it, you can put your magnets on to hold your paper. So these little things are your magnets. I love these magnets because they don't break when you drop them. And they're smaller and they fit underneath the sign. Now, look, when you're actually covering this with ink, I've got it everywhere. The good thing about it is it's not going to go on my work. That's what I love about it. Nothing's going to go on my work, just the image of the stamp. So once I've got it where I want it, I can just come down and press and just give it a little bit of a rub because it is vellum that we're working on. And just the image, because the image is the bit that's lower down, so it'd be the only bit that hits the paper. And as you can see, I have got stuff all around here and it has an effect. You don't have to put stuff around it, I was just showing you. But if you do. Now I like to use a wet one also, and I like to use the water-based ones. I don't use lanolin or oil-based wet ones for the simple reason is that it will put it onto your stamp, and what happens then? It will eventually build up in an area and you won't stamp properly. So just come in with your 99% water wipes and just give your plate a clean as well while you're at it. Okay, just put that down there. Now we can take this off here. If you're a little bit confused on which side you've worked on, which side you stamped on, you could put a little pencil mark because you can rub it off. But we're going to turn it over and we're going to work on this side. So I'm going to move this out of the way. I'm going to bring my little gift that I gave everyone, a little embossing pouch or square. It's only a coaster really. You can use it for a double whammy. So we stamped on this side. Just make sure it is dry because we don't want to smudge it. Just going to move that out of the way for a minute. And I'm just going to put my stamp away just while I'm waiting for that to dry. Okay. What did I say? Don't forget to do. I said don't forget to do the bugs. Okay, so I'm going to turn it back over. And that's the side I stamped. We've got some little bugs in here and they're just so cute. And I thought, we've got to use them. They're tiny. So I'm going to grab a little block. They are tiny, tiny. And they are so cute. Honestly, they really are cute. So this one is an open wing one. And I might just put this one up here. Cleaning. And then you've got a couple of others that we can put down on there as well. It just decorates it up a little bit. Okay, so this one's just a normal one, I think. And we can put this one just down here. Okay, that one can go in there. And then there's one more. And this one, he looks like he's walking. So we're going to put him, I was going to say we should have him on the, but we'll put him that way. So you can use one, you can use two, or you could use the three of them. I just thought, well, they're in there and I'm going to use them. Okay. Grab your stylus, either from your pick tool or your scoreboard. We're going to use the thicker end, so see which one, they're about the same. So find one that you find happy. I've got all my embossing tools, but I'm using what we've got with Stampin' Up, okay, so that I know that you girls can get what we need. Okay, so we're going to start stretching our vellum. So we're going to rub our tool first on our pad to just make sure that we warm it up a little bit. Don't forget to do the point, warm it up a little bit, and then we're going to come in and we're going to start bringing our vellum and stretching it. Now I'm just hoping that you can see what I'm doing. If your tool feels like it's dragging, just bring it back and warm it up a little bit more. Okay. You can do little circular motions, or you can do some little... Be careful when you're doing it because it's very easy to put a hole in it. And when you turn it over, you can see how the white pops up. I hope you can see that. Okay, so we're going to do the petals of the daisy. Now this one you could just colour as well if you wanted to, like we did with the other one. But it's a really good one for white work, like for this type of work. and you just need to make sure that you do it nice and smooth. Okay. Also, sometimes your stylers will start to take off. Just be mindful of that, because when it's warmed up, it can go, it gets a little bit slippery on the side. So just be a little bit careful of that. Okay. You can see how we're doing the petals. If it doesn't look smooth enough and it looks scratchy on the other side, just come back and go back over it. Okay, so that it's nice and smooth. Now, it will take a little bit of time, okay, to get it all smoothed out the way you want it. But it does look lovely when you're finished. So we're going to do some of these little flowers now, and you might want to come and use your smaller part of your tool, and you might want to do little circular motions in these, not lines. You might want to go around in a circle with your tool. Okay, so you're going around little circular motions in here. Okay, so we can do another one up here. So you can sort of see now how that pops up. Okay, so then you got your bugs you want to do as well. So you want to just do your wings on the bugs. You can do the head and the body if you want to, but don't go outside the black. Just do it a tiny little bit so it raises, but you don't want it white around it. Now the leaves. Let me share the leaves with you. When you're doing your leaves, you probably want to come in and do around the edge of the leaf first on one side. And then come and do your other side. Okay, like this. Okay, so little flowers, circular. When you're doing the leaves, it's sort of like just a backwards and forward stroke, or you're lifting your pen up, actually your stylus up, and you're going one direction. Okay, so you're picking it up and bringing it back into that nice direction. With your petals, if you had a bit bigger tool, you'd probably come in and do one direction first. The thing with your petals is that you want to work it, that you try not to get too many lines happening. You want to do it as smooth as you can. So you're going to be working backwards and forwards from one side to the other of the petal. Okay, so you're stretching that vellum and you're stretching it upwards. So each time I lift my pen, I'm lifting it right off and coming back. Warm your pen up, your stylus up if you need to, okay? Come back, make sure that you're getting all this really lovely. And the same with this one. Now you do have to be mindful because you can put a hole in it, and quite often when I used to do classes you'd hear, shit, shit. And you think, what's that? And they go, I just put a hole in it. And we used to say, if you do put a hole in it, just put a butterfly over the hole. It will cover it up. Okay, so if you do happen to put a hole in it, don't go back near it because you'll make it bigger. Just put a little beetle or a little butterfly or a little bling over the top of it. Okay, so just try to lift that tool up each time and stretch your vellum up. And when you've been doing it for a while, you will see it gets beautiful, it raises up. Can you see how it raises up? It looks really beautiful. The more you spend time with it, the more you're going to stretch your vellum. Okay, so if you started from the bottom part of your petal, start from the bottom part of your petal for everyone. Okay, so that you're working in the same direction. When you've got a thicker tool, it will cover a bigger area. Okay, warm your tool up when you need to. And come around. And then with this one, start at the bottom again. And then we're going around this way. That's for the top bit there. So you can sort of see how the flower is starting to form now. You will get a bit of lines with a smaller tool, but as long as you're going in one direction, it doesn't look too bad. It's when you're doing it all over the place, like colouring, it looks scribbly and then it doesn't look as nice. So, yeah, so try to do it in one direction. It'll make it look a lot nicer. And when you're doing the flowers, turn it over, I think. Just do little circular motions into the flowers. Okay, it gives it a nice sort of smooth into each of the little petals on the flower as well. So it looks a lot nicer. Okay, so I think you get the idea of what I'm doing here. On this top bit here, work out which way you want to do this. Whether you want to go from side to side all the way up, or whether you want to go this way, which this is the way I like to go, because I like to go stretch it up this way. It looks like I'm going backwards and forwards with my tool, but I'm actually lifting it each time and starting from the bottom. Okay. Because I've been doing it a long time, I don't lift my tool very high anymore. I just do it. Okay, so you can sort of see you've got the nice flower now. It looks a little bit more distinctive. Okay, so once you've coloured it all, so I'm going to leave that for a moment because time sort of goes a little bit quick for us. And I'm just going to grab a piece of vellum, because in the first video you saw how I glued the vellum. So you glue it exactly the same way. You start from the top and you work down. Okay, so I'm just going to grab a little bit of vellum out of here. And I want to show you how to colour it. So this is the card finished. This is the card finished. All white work with the blue behind it. It's got our little beetles on it. Okay, so let me show you. When you're feeling your vellum, you'll feel a rough side and a smooth side. Now, it doesn't really matter which way you go, but the rough side is what you stamp onto. The smoother side is like your background that you emboss onto. Okay, so we need to get our pick tool again, but this time we need to screw this end out. And I need to screw the blade in. Who's got all the bits for their pick tool? Isn't it amazing? Now this has got the blade. Just be careful if you're using blades. Make sure you always put that cap on it, especially around kids. Now there is some colours that really work well on the back of vellum, and blue is one of them. Okay, so we're going to get our blue. My chalks, my pastels, I've used a lot, and yet they're still going. I bought them, I've still got so many pastels. So we're going to use our knife and grab the pigmentation of like an ink. Why do we use chalk and not ink? Well, you can use ink. I'm just showing you another way if you have chalks that you can use them. Okay. Then grab a bit of paper towel. Yes, I go through a lot of paper towel, girls. But it's better to go through a lot of paper towel. Okay, so you can start off with just trying that and rubbing it in and getting that to go through over the paper. And it's quite nice. You can use any colours, but some colours don't stand out really as well as blue or green. Like some colours disappear. And you can sort of see that rubbing it in, and you can build up on it if you want to. Okay, so you can sort of see it's not really dark. Let me just grab a bit of white paper. But it looks rough looking, a little bit rough looking. Okay, so now you get just normal glycerin from the shop. Who remembers putting glycerin on their kids' dummies? I never did, but I remember a lot of people used to. You only want a little bit, you don't want a lot. Now come back over and use the glycerin on this. Okay, I'm going to do half and half. Can you see the difference, how it works? When the glycerin dries, it dries really shiny and smooth. This side will dry. This side's already dry, so it's just flat. So the glycerin actually makes the colour lift a lot better for when you turn your card over. Can you see that the colour pops out more where I've put the glycerin to where you haven't? So what it does is it actually pops the colour out a lot better when you use the glycerin. So you can come in and do over the whole of your paper with the glycerine. The good thing about doing it with paper towel is that if you want to use another colour, quite often you can fold your paper towel through and you've still got glycerine on the other side, but you can come in with another colour, okay, because it's still on there. So that's how, I'm going to get a wipe and wipe my fingers because I have got chalk all over it. Now let me show you the card when it's finished. Is there any questions on that one? Do you have any questions on that? You can see the difference. It's so much smoother, but when you put it onto paper, you'll see that it sits smooth. Can you see where I haven't done it and where I have done it? It lifts it and goes, woof, hello. So very quick and simple technique, but really lovely to do. Hi, Kerry. So the embossing is always great. I'm going to put the blue card behind here. You will see that the blue card will make it stand out really good. And I'm going to show you a couple of different ones. If you put it onto a darker blue, you'll get more white work. You'll see that you won't get any background on that. You'll just see the white. This is the two-tone one, so if I turn it on to the darker side, you'll see that the white pops out more. Can you see how that pops out a lot more? Okay, so let's say if you put it onto apricot, you'll get that effect. Okay, so you'll get your white work and you'll get a slight apricot background. Okay, your lighter colours are the better colours for you to do them on. Okay, now let's say for instance that you put it on something like a dark green, mossy meadow. You'll make your white work pop out more. Can you see how the white pops out? You can actually see more of the detail in the white when you put it onto a darker card. So be mindful when you're picking out your card to go underneath it, okay? Because that makes a big, big, big difference. But this is the card we did today. So we did our daisies with the white work, our little bugs down the bottom, our flowers, and we did the chalk on the back. Now this side, I didn't use glycerine. This side, I did. So you can sort of see, one side you can see the colour a lot better where I've used the glycerine, and this side where I didn't. Okay, so you can sort of see how that works. No two cards will ever turn out exactly the same. It depends on the day and how your hand's feeling, to how much pressure you put on and how much time you spend on doing the white work. So I hope you enjoyed learning a little bit about how to do this and how to put the colour on to your card as well, and how to put different colour backgrounds will make it look different. You put the glue on exactly the same way as you did the very first one. That's why I taught you that in the very first class, was to show you how to put the glue on, okay? And I think in the last class, if I get time, I'll show you again. We're going to do some water painting on vellum, and that's very tricky as well because you've got to be very mindful. So, and then you've got to let it dry. So in the first class, we learned how to put the glue on because that's important, okay? So number one is to watch number one, class number one. And then class number two is coming back if you decide you don't want to colour and just do what we call white work. Yes, even on the coloured cardstock, Margaret, you put it onto the cardstock but make sure that you only put it into the size of the vellum. You normally have a white piece of vellum in there also to put underneath it, but if you want to use colour, you just put it on exactly the same. Just put it on, but make sure there's no white showing in your glue when you're patting it along, and make sure it sits there a minute and it will get tacky, and then you can press your vellum onto it, okay? You don't want lumps, no lumps. You want it to be really nice, and then you can smooth it out. If you get stuck with it, you might be better to colour your background with blends or colour. I'll show you some other techniques with blenders. They're how you can make a mottly background. You can use alcohol, you can change it around a lot more, but that will have to be another class because we've got one more card to go on this class, and we'll stop this one so that you can do class number 1 and then come in and do class number 2. And now we're going to turn this off, and then I'll be back in about 5 minutes, not even 5 minutes, probably 3 minutes, and we'll do the next card. Thank you so much for joining me. Any questions, just put them in the comments because I will answer all questions after the event. It might not be straight away, but I'll answer as soon as I can. And I hope you enjoyed our vellum class. Bye for now.